Oh, welcome back to the Ipswich View. It's a Sam Morsy derby this week as Middlesbrough stroll into town. We're going to review very quickly the Norwich game with Ian and also talk about, obviously, the Middlesbrough game this week. Ian, how are you?
Do you know, it's 15 years. That's all I'm going to hear. That's all I've heard all week. That's all I'm going to hear for the next year. Well, I don't know when the next time we'll play Norwich is. So God forbid it's in the playoffs. That's all I'll
I was going to
say.
say it could be in a couple of weeks. And we're joined by Lewis, who was desperate for you to do them a favour this weekend, weren't you, Lewis? Beating Norwich.
Yeah, I'm sure it was the last thing on Ian's mind. But yeah, we really did need Ipswich to beat Norwich and get within 3 points of them. But I think the curse continues, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll bring you back in a second, Lewis, and have a chat about this game. First of all, Ian, we watched it as obviously as a neutral. I've got to say I was quite disappointed by Ipswich. I think it was one of the worst performances I've seen you live. Obviously, I haven't seen all the 42 games that you have. Were you disappointed by individuals and as the group as a whole?
Massively. I mean, I don't think one individual stood out as having a poor performance. It generally was a poor team performance, but I think let's not underestimate how well Wagner got his team set up to disrupt, because that's what they did. They disrupted. We tried to get points out, the good points from the game. I guess we stopped Josh Sargent scoring, which was something he's managed to do in the last 8 games, although Norwich fans will dispute the fact that they say Twanzebe brought him down. And against Southampton, Ipswich, we had a red card, and I think Twanzebe is lucky not to get a red card in that case. Second half, too little, too late. There's going to be people asking why there wasn't a wall for the free kick, because I do not think Nunez meant that ball to go in. But well done to him. Norwich, though, credit where it's due. They've got a really good team. They've got a really good squad there. It's just a shame they have to celebrate like they won the European Cup or something. But credit where it's due that they beat us. We didn't turn up in the game, and maybe maybe the occasion got to some of our players. And we're not going to win all the games, are we? It's just a shame we lose that one.
Yeah, it's baffling, isn't it? Absolutely baffling. And that the 2 games this year, West Brom away, I think was another one where you didn't turn up. Yeah. But in the 2 games against Norwich this year, it's like a different side. I mean, back to, I know it's Sheffield Wednesday 6-0 and that's Sheffield Wednesday, but it is remarkable what happens when you play the Canaries.
When they say a derby form goes out the window, I mean, you just got to look at the Old Farm derby, as we call it, because it seems to be the case all the time. So when we hear about Norwich, not always beating us, but we don't beat Norwich, it's not through lack of trying. Trust me. I mean, we don't have to go far back. But what is interesting to note is, despite the fact that the last 15 years we've not beaten Norwich, I think we still have got more wins than Norwich got wins over us. So that kind of shows it's taken Norwich a few years to catch up to the kind of level we've been in the past. But we look forward now, and we don't look back anymore. Just got to keep going.
All right. How much are you worried then about your recent matches have been tight and closely fought? And there's only 1 goal that separated Ipswich and their opponents in 5 of the last 6 games. And that, obviously, the other one, not including that, it was a 6-0 against Wednesday. So, dear, things are finally balanced in games, aren't you? You aren't turning teams over like that you used to. How worried are you about that?
It speaks volumes to the Championship, how competitive it is. But also, I think it's the same every year. In the action end of the season, 10 games left to go, games become so much more significant. Players are able to suddenly lift the game where they couldn't lift it back in October. We always look at the team who avoided relegation by winning on the final day of the season, and they're celebrating like they got promotion, and the fans are in there, they're celebrating, but everyone else is going, why don't you play like that every week? And you wouldn't have to wait to the last game of the season. So, I expect the games to be tight. I expect our next games, on paper, they may not look as dreadful as, playing Southampton at home and Norwich away, but Hull have got stuff to play for, Watford have got stuff to play for, Middlesbrough have got stuff to play for. Coventry away is going to be a very interesting fixture. So I expect the games to be tight. I expect us to have to really dig deep, and that's what we've managed to do throughout the season. We've managed to get those late winners, so it's not something we fear.
Okay, all right. Let's bring in then Middlesbrough and have a chat about a game which I think is going to be really dangerous for the Tractor Boys this weekend. First of all, Lewis, how have you rated Ipswich when you've had a chance to watch them this season?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant, to be honest. I mean, they've just got goals all over the team. Broadhead scoring goals, Leif Davis at left back. He'll be in the championship team of the season, won't he? Then you've got Sam Morsy in the middle, who didn't do too much at us, but he's been an absolute revelation. Luongo, who really didn't do anything at us at all. Don't even know if he got on the pitch. And them two together have been brilliant. But yeah, Chaplin, they've just got goals all over the side. And, Kieran McKenna's got them going really well. And obviously him and Carrick worked together at Man United, really good mates, both developed into great coaches. But I think it's almost a victory for everyone in the Championship to see Ipswich, up there with the millionaire Premier League teams.
Mm-hmm. So underestimate Middlesbrough at your peril. Others have. Ian, this is going to be a tricky game, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when we played Middlesbrough earlier in the season, Latte was actually on form, but when he played against us, he did not turn up. And I think Carrick was under a little bit of pressure. And that's been the kind of trend in Middlesbrough season. They've had a few games doing really well, then they've just fallen off, come back and fallen off, come back and fallen off. They didn't build on last year's excellent, form. But then we look at Coventry, start the season, they didn't, but they're getting back into it. So this could be the turning point for Middlesbrough, a good, strong away win at Ipswich. You just never know. And again, you're right. You never underestimate a team that's got Carrick pulling the strings, to be honest. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think it'll be a good football spectacle. May not be the highest scoring games, but certainly it'll be a good football spectacle.
Lewis, unbeaten then in 7 games now, won 5 of those and conceded just 2. So that back four that you've spoken about on your Middlesbrough channel clearly now are the ones that Carrick sees. Those the ones that get him results. How do Ipswich go about beating you then? Because no team in the last 7 games has managed to do it. Is there a chink in this armour?
There absolutely is, yeah. I mean, probably similar to Ipswich, we like to play out from the back. We like to take risks. Dieng almost at times becomes an additional centre-back the way he plays, the modern goalkeeper. The key is really just to press us, harry us, harass us. We don't like it when teams come at us, to be honest. Too often recently, teams have let us dictate the play, get comfortable in games, and then once we've got control, we don't relinquish it. So really, it's about fast start, coming at us from the blocks, and we don't like it. And we've had games this season where we've almost been blown away in the first 20, 30 minutes because teams have really come at us. But too often teams give us a bit too much respect. So be interested in this game because obviously both managers crave control the way they play. So it'd be interesting to see who does win that battle and who can control the game in the middle of the pitch.
Okay. Ian, does Sam Morsy have to be a little bit careful? I understand he's on 13 yellow cards now, 2 more, and would result in a 3-match ban, which might mean missing any playoffs should you be involved. Is that something that should be on his mind?
Yeah.
Or
it's interesting actually. Obviously, by the time this video goes out, we'll already played the Watford game, but it was the Watford fixture away earlier in the season where Morsy, if he'd have picked up a yellow, he'd have missed the next game, which was a massive game away at Middlesbrough. And somehow he walked a tightrope of heavy tackles at Watford to get away with it. And people from last week will say, have Morsy avoided red? He just has the knack of avoiding that card. I don't know whether I think the referees have a lot of respect for him. He's a very, very, very hard tackler. And I think that he's pivotal in the club in that middle point. So yes, if we were to lose, in fact, he's exceeded his yellow cards, it would be painful. He knows he can't compromise the style of play. And I think that Jack Taylor has been brought on over the last month or so to kind of emulate the style of Morsy. So I think we have Jack Taylor ready to replace him if needs be. But I don't want Morsy to compromise his style. And as much as the other teams in this championship might hate Morsy, he's involved in every single goal we've scored at some point.
Will he get a nice reception of the travelling Middlesbrough fans, Lewis?
I mean, he won't get a bad one. Like I say, he was a solid pro for us. Nothing spectacular. Wasn't here for too long, but yeah, there'll be no ill feeling. But I'm not sure, you'll get any kind of ovation or anything.
Okay. All right, let's get some score predictions then from you both. Ian, you can go first.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to shut shop at the back now, and I would like to see us emulate the same score we had at Middlesbrough, so another 2-0 win for Ipswich. Keep back us in the top 2.
Okay. Middlesbrough like going to Portman Road. 2 wins and a draw in the last 3 trips there. So this is a nice hunting ground for the Borough. What do you reckon, Lewis?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go for a result that probably won't help either of us. Like I said, we have been solid recently. We've kept 4 clean sheets in our last 5. I'm going to go for a 1-1. But like I say, we both really need a win. So be interesting if it is 1-1 late in the game, if either of us, take the shackles off and go for it, because points probably no good for either of us, but I do think it'll be a tight game.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, enjoy the Sam Morsy derby, both of you, and we'll catch you both next week. If you're an Ipswich Town fan, thank you again for all the love and all the comments you keep putting on this channel. We really, really appreciate it. And comment below about this particular game. Thank you, Ian, and thank you, Lewis.
Yeah, I may be inclined to wear my Hartlepool shirt just to stir up the atmosphere a wee bit.
Cheers, Ian.
Cheers, Mark.